What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Best of Both Worlds with Flau'jae. Today we have an amazing guest, an NBA Hall of Famer, author, entrepreneur, and one of the most influential players in college basketball history. Please welcome to the show, Chris Webber. Okay.
Thank you. Flau'jae, what's up? Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining. Okay, so yeah, I like I told you off camera, I did an assignment on the Fab Five on the 30 for 30. So this is super dope. I'm super excited. We can just get straight into it.
I'm excited to meet you. So that's what's up.
When we talk about the Fab Five, you got to mention the cultural impact that y'all had. What was the style, like what was the choices behind what y'all wore, like the style off the court, on the court, like what was because it was so new. Nobody had ever done it before and y'all were fearless with it. So what was behind the style choices?
So behind the style choices was Detroit, you know what I mean? Or Chicago. So Jalen and I are from Detroit, Juwan's from Chicago, Ray and Jimmy from Texas. So what we love is like the number one rule back then was no biting. No biting. So you couldn't look at somebody and just take their whole style. So to me, what I love about it is that it encouraged you to be unique. You know what I mean? And so in Detroit, we already have a certain style that we were, very colorful, head to toe. You have to match and other things. In Chicago, they had their way. And so everybody just brought their own style. And so at that time, you know, we wanted to be unique. You know, you have to realize at that time, like, you didn't know players' names. You didn't know anything but what the school let you know about them. Like, we were the first that I ever heard that played hip-hop music in any line, not NBA or anything. And we had to fight, you know what I mean, to do this and things like that. And so, but it was a time, it was a movement of people on TV, like in Living Color at the time, or Martin and his show. And it was a bunch of people at that time, like speaking out or just not speaking out, living our life. That's all we did was live the life our friends couldn't live at home on TV. And before we played every game, we remind ourselves, you know, our mama's watching, the hood is watching, because we knew we were an extension of that. And so the best compliment you could get is to go home and your boys say you fresh. And so, you know, we were just an extension of our neighborhoods.
Yeah, most definitely. You could kind of tell that. And I think that's so important, even for players like Allen Iverson, who kind of brought that to the NBA. Like, y'all brought that on the college level. And it's still players trying to break through a certain narrative, too, at the same time. Like, on the women's side, like, girls are trying to, like, find their style and see how they can still express themselves on the court and, you know, still ball. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Recently, you and the Fab Five were all together since the first time y'all played at Michigan. How was that experience being back with them, like, all at the same time?
It was great. You know, we all have close relationships individually, so we had all been speaking and we had all been on the same text. But very honestly, you know, me and Jay weren't seeing eye to eye at the time, and so that was great. By first us, you know, healing way before that moment. That's what we really wanted to do before we had a moment together, was to really do it behind the scenes. And that's beautiful and wonderful. And then for all of us to come back together, that was crazy. So it's great, man. I mean, we're family, and, you know, Juwan is continuing to coach. Jalen's continuing to do his thing, and say with Ray and Jimmy. And so, you know, we're always going to be brothers. And so it was great, you know, going back to Michigan for that game.
For sure. So you dropped a new memoir titled By God's Grace. What motivated you to write it, and where can we find it?
We can find it everywhere. October 15th, it'll be available at all platforms, both ebook and audiobook. Actually, I'm finishing up the audiobook now, so I'm excited about that. But Amazon and everywhere you can find it, and chriswebber.com. So it's been a great journey. And, you know, when I watch your career, very honestly, like seeing you host, seeing you rhyme, seeing you hoop, it's like, it's eerie. It's a blessing, and it's eerie because I'm older than you, and I grew up in a time where Flau'jae couldn't be this dope because, you know, it would be so many stereotypes put on you, or so many different thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And so just watching people like yourself that's bright, that's smart, that's beautiful, that's beast on the court, like, that's one of the things that I talk about in the book. Like, it's so dope to see people like yourself, because at one time there were people before me fighting for it, and we fought for it, and people like yourself are going to continue fighting for it. So keep doing what you're doing.
No, most definitely. Thank you. Absolutely. When I was doing my my book report, I said that I was like, if it wasn't for like these guys, I feel like NIL wouldn't even be what it is. And most importantly, like y'all were doing NIL before NIL was a thing. You know what I'm saying? And when I was reading the documentary, I think there was like, the year before y'all came, Michigan sales was at like, whatever number, and then it jumped to like 10 mil. And then Nike had the shoes and the style that y'all were wearing, and y'all never got so just seeing that was really like, it made me be more thankful. I was like, dang, like, I really came at a time where I'm able to pursue both my dreams, because that wasn't a thing back then, which is crazy, but it's true.
Yeah, it is true. And you're at a time where you can enjoy it, but you also changing it for other young ladies and young men.
Yeah.
So you still got, you're doing the work too, and that's what's dope. But yeah, there was a gentleman named Sonny Vaccaro, right? So he did, Nike, he signed Jordan, signed Kobe, all of this. And so I went back and interviewed him for the book, and I talked about like the Fab Five impact, how much would we have made back then? And he really let me know behind the scenes that, it was an organized effort to make sure that people that were fresh, taking it back to the hood, doing all these things, that they didn't benefit from it, that they just look like the story of the Huaraches. So we wore these shoes, Huaraches, way before your time, but the Huaraches didn't even match our uniform, but Nike was the first time Nike had ever brought the shoe into the locker room, and we picked what we wanted to wear. And so they were smart enough to understand that this doesn't match, that we don't like these shoes, but if we listen to them, it'll be the impact. And so I think that businesses started to realize, like, once you listen to the people that actually are on the ground, your profits will go up. So I talk about that in the book, and I'm glad we made a change, but seeing you, Ryan, on TV and all these shows too, just shows that it got so much more to go. So it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Facts. And I'm one of the athletes, that gets to benefit from NIL, which is very new. So I just want to know your thoughts on NIL. And like when you were in college, what would your dream NIL have been?
So I think I was talking to Jalen the other day about who we thought would break the bank with NIL, and I'm so happy everybody's doing it. And besides, the Deion Sanders, Johnny Manziel's, I think that, Fab Five, we would have done it. And I know one thing that I would have been thoughtful about was making sure that we get it for everybody on our team, even to the walk-on, because I really love it. And it's great that people, like yourself and others benefit from it. You should. And you also know that there are levels, and so you should be at the higher NIL, right? But then there's certain people on your team that work hard, and you be like, well, I wouldn't even be this good if she didn't keep me, in the gym, and if this didn't happen. And so I just wanted to be more of a balance, not necessarily regulated, but more of a balance. And I also thank people like Ed O'Bannon and others that really fought for it in court and things like that, because your guys' talent is something special and it's appreciated. And so I love what's going on. I just hope that the dust settles a little bit so that everyone can benefit from it, all sports where it has an impact. And, it just turns a little bit more controllable for everybody. So I'm just looking forward to evolve and to mature.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I did a deal, and I was like, yeah, I want to do the deal, but like I want to, like, can I get some of my teammates involved? You know what I'm saying? And we was able to do that. From my walk-on teammate to,
That's
my
dope.
teammates that don't got a lot of followers. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When I go to these brands with these deals, they definitely have the budget for it. So I'd be like, hey, what's up with that? You know what I'm saying?
And you're a team player, so it sit with your brand.
Yeah.
Like if you was a selfish person, it wouldn't make sense. We'd be like, oh no, Flau'jae ain't showing you roll like that. But that company need to do that so that message could be, see, she's a team player, we are too. Let's get it together. So that helps everybody.
Most definitely. So I want to just talk about your transition from being a professional player to reporting on the game, and how is that dynamic, and does it ever make you miss playing, and what's the best part about it?
So no, I don't miss playing. My feet, my knees hurt. You gonna see in a few years.
I'm starting to feel it. Yeah. I remember my freshman year, I could just get on the court and go. Now I gotta stretch.
Now you gotta stretch. Oh, poor thing. No, but I love talking about the game because I think that I can give a unique perspective. First of all, I think you don't have to play the game to talk about the game, but I also think, it was certain things like with body language, I would see people go to the bench, or I would see, the beef starting between two players in the first quarter, and I'm watching it to the fourth quarter. So to me, my job is like to bring it to the fans so that they could feel what's really going on. Also with the technical and let you go on. And, you know, so I love it. And I love the fact that if I do a good job, everybody will be mad. The home team, the away team, because, you know, you're just talking the game and it's not personal. But my thing is to big up the players, talk about how great they are, talk about how great the game is, but also to say, you know, I know that player is better than that. They're going to be mad at film tomorrow because, you know, I know what they're seeing. So, you know, you know, it's something definitely I enjoyed. And when the playoffs come, I definitely feel like I could go back out there for a play or two, but, you know, my knees lie to me. That can't happen.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. Are there any current players in the NBA that kind of remind you of your playing style?
Not really, but I like a lot of players in the league. You know, my favorite player is probably, you know, Durant. I can't believe what LeBron has done. Booker is incredible. Westbrook is incredible. I love Big Cat. I love the big fellas out there, you know. So, but I'm the type of player I am is that I love players that can score at any time and get people involved at any time. Like if you can do that, you know, you can help so much because I played on the team. Think about it, you played in the game where you missed 2 easy buckets or something that happened and you just need a feel. You know what I mean? And you can have a great teammate get a pump fake and be like, there you go, you got it. Run down the court without even looking to you, and whether you miss it or not, it just shows what type of player you are. You know what I mean? And so I really love players that can play the game and that are thoughtful, that make sure they're the best on the court, all that. But, you know, keep the team flowing from their presence, not just from their scoring. So I love those players.
Like a player that can impact the game. That's how I try to do, like, especially with my defense, like, not just dominate on one side of the ball. Right. I feel like what made me a great player is I'm able to do so much. I could score for sure, but this year I've been working on getting my assists up, getting my steals up, being where I'm supposed to be on defense and things like that. Like that be shifting the game for me too on a mental side. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I can't control like missing shots, but you know, I can control my defense and my efforts.
Right. And that makes everybody else think about the trust you build on the team when they know, okay, she out there. And the trust is like, you could be playing defense so hard that's vulnerable that somebody can get by you. You know what I mean? But that's trust of the team. Is not, you know, everybody, defense, so they got by you. They don't understand the commitment to the process, and that's what I love. And when you concentrate on all those aspects of the game, it just makes you a complete player. Like you say, you can affect the game without even having the ball in your hand.
Yeah, most definitely.
No doubt.
So what's one moment in your career that you still think about? Like one moment. My moment is my moment I probably think about is probably the national championship game. That was a big one for me.
Yeah.
But I know you had a lot of moments.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Man, it kind of depends because I had a long career. So it's funny. I remember my first practice with a team called the Super Friends. It was an AAU team. And I got humbled. I thought I was the man at 12 years old. I got into it with teammates. I said I never was going to come back to the team. It was a team that had the first practice, check this out, it was no fouls and no out of bounds. So it was nothing but a fight, a wrestling match, right? But I made a commitment to go to this team, and this coach, Curtis Hervey, changed my life. And all of my best friends I met that day, to this day, from Jalen to Kevin to Yapo. Yeah, that was our team at 12 years old. And so I think about that. And then I also think about, you know, playing against Jordan, or I think about the fact that, you know, playing against the Lakers in that series. You know, I go into that series a lot, and, you know how it is to play against the best, to be the best. You've done that in college. And also, what is it like playing against the best? And so going up against Kobe, Shaq, who's the most dominant, people don't realize how dominant Shaq was. He's the best athlete by far that I've ever seen. And it's not just because he was tall, because I mean, his vertical, he was fast, he was strong, he was smart. So playing against those guys and Ori, that series is something that I'll always remember, because that series stopped me from getting a championship. And so, you know, you got to respect the grind. You got to respect your opponents and the teammates. And I respect, you know, that part of it, because, you know, to be part of a rivalry, to be able to embrace the best of sports, you know what I mean? So I think about that series once in a while, especially, you know, I used to text Kobe, "Where's my ring?" And you know, we used to laugh about that a lot. So you know, I think about a lot of the great moments of competing against the best at the highest level.
Yeah, most definitely.
No doubt.
You talk about loving the women's game. What excites you the most about women's basketball?
So I know it's women's basketball, but it's no different to me because when I grew up, like we played, you know what I mean? And like, so growing up in our neighborhood, you would have, you play football on the street or baseball or double dutch or whatever. Like you had to be an athlete around the neighborhood and all little things.
Right.
So at my high school, it was Miss Basketball, Peggy Evans in my high school. We used to work out and play with her all the time. Like she was incredible. So I never really, or Natalie Neaton, like I really never, I knew it was different genders, but I never looked at it differently. And so when I was in Sacramento and got to see them play and go up against the Houston team, the Comets with Cheryl Swoops and those girls, but watching Yolanda Griffith and Tisha Pinachero and going to their games all the time. And so what do I love about it? I mean, you got to have skill. You got to have game. And it's everything but, you know, it's everything but a dunk here or there. It's the exact same game. And for me, watching the game and for teaching my son and others the game of basketball, I definitely use the women's game as well as a tool because you can see how attacking the front foot is something or how reverse jab step or inside pivot and things like that. So I love the game because one, it's exciting, and two, you really can see the fundamentals in the game as well.
Right.
Yeah.
No, most definitely. So let's transition to music because I know you produce some hip hop tracks for some big names like Nas.
Yeah.
And I know you make music. You know I make music.
Yeah.
What drew you to producing music?
My mother is a piano teacher and grew up in the church. And so, you know, when I heard Jodeci, I was like, I sound like my cousin in the choir. I don't sound like R&B group, you know what I mean? And so,
Right.
So my love for music and just listening to music, living in Detroit, where growing up in Detroit at the time, you know, before the internet and everything was real regional, West Coast, New York, and being in the Midwest, we listened to the best of everything. And so growing up in that era where music was beautiful, I loved it. And, you know, it helps in sampling and being able to play a little bit now. And so spend a lot of time in the studio. And that's why I love your album and music. And it's so funny because every athlete, in my opinion, wanted to be an entertainer, and every entertainer wanted to be an athlete. You know, Marvin Gaye tried out for the Lions, and so it's dope seeing people like yourself bring it together. You know what I mean? And other athletes, because before they used to say you couldn't do both, and so to me, just listening to music and getting the opportunity to work with some great artists and being in the studio with them, and real quick, that's how it started. So when I got to the league, I built a studio in my house, and so when I got traded to DC. I would let all the artists in the world come record for free. And but I got to vibe with them. You know what I mean? And so through that, I got to learn to make beats and other things and see some of the best and, you know, let that go on a certain way. And so it's been great having music, you know, in my life, period.
Yeah, no, that's fire. Like, I always tell producers or artists, I'm like, bro, just let me come just sit in your studio session. Like, let me just see you create. Like, I just want to see what your process like, you know? Because you can learn so much or so many little things from different people and their processes as a creative. That's, like, my favorite thing to do. I just got my label to send me, like, equipment, and I just built my studio in my room so I can practice. Yeah, I be getting my thing set up. And it's crazy you said piano because I just picked up a piano, and I'm trying to learn how to play right now.
You will.
Because, like, I want to just like, I want to learn about music, like you know what I'm saying, the real music. Okay, I got a question. They say hip hop isn't like a weird space right now. Nobody making good music. Do you think that's on the artist or do you think that's on the producer or what do you think?
I think it's on the industry because like, you know, from the game, like everything's a copycat. So in the game, if somebody all fast breaking, everybody's, well, they're supposed to play fast, right? So I think it's on the industry because that's the only reason why I say. So I think people are just as talented, more talented today, whether in sports or music. But I think the industries of everything doesn't want people to be individuals. And I think that's what we miss out on. Everything. If you have now the different music that's out there and you had to listen to 20 different genres of different type music, you find so many people that were dope or that were fresh and appealed to you. So I think the artists are dope. I just think they might be making, you know, I think that they may be not be as authentic as they could, and what we want is authenticity as an artist. You know what I mean? We want to watch your journey of you learning to play the piano and things like that. And so I think that the industry needs to embrace that and let the artists get back to telling us who they are and what they see. And I think it'll be a resurgence. But I think right now we're buying the industry more than different artists.
I've been battling that with my label. Like, they'll send me a pack of beats, and they're like, yeah, I think you need to do this type. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I want to create. So I definitely believe.
Please don't do that, because once, I just want to give you one piece of advice. Once you become everyone else, then how do I love Flau'jae? You know, it's like, how do I? How? Just remember that. You know what I mean? But you got to grow, and you got to test your limits. So that's a hard discussion. So balance that, but you know what I mean? Like, we love you. We don't love you and everybody in you. You know what I'm saying? So once you do that and you lose some of that, it's like you become everyone else, and you're not as unique as you are.
And then you're not unique no more.
Yeah, for being you.
No, I got you. Yeah. Who has been your favorite musical project or person that you collab with so far?
Oh, by far, Nas. You know, by far.
How was that?
It was incredible working with Nas. I was able to do 2 songs with him. One, Surviving the Times, on his greatest hits album, and then Blunt Ashes. And so, I mean, he's a genius. That's all I could say. I mean, he's a friend, but, you know, that's like you being a friend. That's like somebody be friends with you and not admitting that you're a great basketball player. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I got to watch him write multiple rhymes. Just that alone. Like, I would have paid a charity just to do that. You know what I'm saying? So to watch that, you know, to see him interact, to see the man he is, and then to become friends with him is incredible. But as an artist, to watch his process when he goes through an album, I really appreciated other artists, because I didn't know you could go dark 030 for, 6 months making the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Focus and attention, and how he loves the fans, and how hip hop was so important, and him paying reverence, and you know what I mean? So it was one of the best experiences of my, artistic careers, to work with somebody like that.
Yeah, no, that seems insane. Like,
yeah.
I be trying. Like, Rakim, he one of my favorite artists. One of my favorite artists of all time. So like, just even like listening to his old stuff, and I've actually got a chance to like work with him, and he graced some of my tracks, and it was kind of one of those moments where it was like, yeah, like, you can't pay for stuff like this. Like, this is one of the things, like, one of those feelings money can't buy. Like,
for real, Rakim. I heard some song, the guy, I didn't know, like, y'all, that's one thing too that makes you unique, is I think today a lot of people have a tough conversation with honoring the past and honoring the future. It's like, it just has to be now. And like, I'm so glad that he speaks to you, and because you weren't born in '86, you must just feel it, because it came out with Mahogany. I'm telling you, like, it's certain things. Like, the first time we saw Flavor Flav was in a Rakim video. You know what I mean? What's dope about Nas is he made a song honoring the 7th letter. But those type of things, like, bring kindred spirits together. And I know if we had other conversations, that we come together like that, just because of how you see the world. And that's what's dope. But yeah, Rakim is the God MC. That's crazy.
No, I think, like, I'm a big firm believer, like I know history can repeat itself. You know what I'm saying?
No
so
doubt.
I'm just I just love to know my history, like, especially basketball. Like,
Yeah.
I know my basketball history, but I definitely know my hip hop history.
Yeah.
Like, I know everybody. So, and I try to study it, because I feel like stuff come in waves. Like, and we always just go back to the past.
Yeah,
like, even fashion, style, whatever. Like, it always go back. So I try to embrace it, and then I just try to connect with it and add the old to the new. Like, I feel like that's what make greatness right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's...
What? Your background is looking crazy. What is back there?
Those are records back there. Those are records. I got some records, the Isley Brothers and Temptations and James Brown. And so I love sampling. So I listen to records all day while I'm doing some things. And so I don't even love sampling. I just love music and just hearing different things. So one of my favorite pastimes is still going to record stores and going if I can find a record store and getting vinyl. So I have about I have a few thousand, you know, records.
Hey,
Yeah.
I gotta get my collection of. I got about 4 over there.
That's all
I
right.
gotta
That's
get.
all right. That's all right. You got a lot of time.
Yeah, in fact, no, I even remember watching this documentary, and they was like, you know, in New York, they used to go to like the Roosevelt Hotel or something like that, and they used to like dig through the crates and go sample and you know what I'm saying, use them when, and then sampling got like banned or something like that, and it was crazy.
So,
But no,
yeah.
that's why I kind of got into getting records and stuff and like putting them on, because I really be trying to figure out how to like make some new stuff. Like, what's your process like? Because I feel like producing, for me, I feel like rappers got the easy job, right? Because all we do is go off the vibe of the producers, but the producers got to create stuff out of thin air. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got to create the vibe, the melody. So, like, what's your process in that? What do you think about?
I think rapping is just as hard too, because you know you got to tell the story. But you know what I love for you to do? When's the last time, or have you ever been to like a skating rink?
Not in a long time.
Yeah, see, just the vibe you're giving me is like when I was growing up, you would have been at the skating rink, and you would have had on the back then there was the Jordans or the Sergio Tacchini's with the little belt, and it was live, and that's when like that's what I think of. So where do I go? I go, you know, sometimes it's so funny you asked that. So there's been a block where I couldn't watch movies for like 4 months, and all I would watch was musical documentaries. Or other times it was other little stories or calling a crazy friend. So sometimes to find that energy, I just really try to get out of any habit. And that's really hard to do. I'll try to go different places to eat or other things just to find it. And truthfully, I saw a lot of that from people that I worked with, and I just noticed it. I noticed a lot of artists that were rhyming did not listen to rap while they were writing the album. And I asked a couple, and they didn't even realize it. And then, because every time I turned it on, they'd be like, you know, zone out or something. And I was end up telling them what their habits were. And so I think, you know, for me, it's home, is all the good things, is people in my life that I love, that what inspired them. Well, let me check this out. Like my brother used to listen to some music I really wasn't feeling. I'd be like, well, let me just try to live in this world for a minute. And I ended up sampling out of that. You know what I mean? To break all barriers and all kind of pre-existing notions, but to open yourself up.
Okay, I got a basketball question. So as an athlete, you could go through moments of like being in a rut or like just like, I don't know, how do you keep that consistency? You know what I'm saying? In your daily routine, in your workouts and everything like that, even when your mind is like, or your circumstances is kind of like holding you back. Like, how do you stay consistent with everything?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you got to keep the bigger goal in mind. You know how it is. You lose a game, you shouldn't on Monday, and the whole world is against you.
Yeah.
Then you win Wednesday, everyone forgot about it. You know what I mean? And a friend of mine said, never make permanent decisions for temporary situations. So it's like you have to remember the full situation. And I think, too, when I look at rappers, hoopers, doctors, lawyers, the thing I appreciate is I know it was 50 times they should have gave up, like a real excuse. A real excuse. And the only difference is the question you ask, how do you do it on that day when you don't have the energy? And to me, personally, I've been able to use my father and my parents and others as example because I know his story. And I talk about that in a book a lot. Like, once I really learned from interviewing my father for the book, what he went through and how he lived, I knew I didn't have the luxury of some excuses. And mental health and other things are real. But at the same time, you know, how can I ask like this? How could you pray to make it to the WNBA or NBA and then not think that you're going to get tired one day or not have an injury, right? So if your goal is the WNBA or the NBA, that means a few things going to happen. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get tired. You're going to not see your family when you want, you know, but you still embrace the whole life of it. And I think if you look at it as to, I'm signing up for a bigger picture, this is some of the steps that I'm going to have to take to get through it. That's helped me to get through it because sometimes that's the only thing you really can do is encourage yourself.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Okay, we only got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
And I want to play a game, right?
Okay.
So all you're gonna do is rank the Fab Five, but I'm not gonna tell you who comes next.
Okay.
But you gotta rank.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Number 1, Jawan Howard.
1.
All right, Jimmy King.
2. I'm gonna keep going in order, even if you switched it up. I'm gonna keep going.
All right, you.
3.
Ray Jackson.
4.
Jalen Rose.
5.
That's a good.
And
All right.
if you'd have said it different, it would have been different.
It would have been the
It
same.
would have been different.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I really appreciate it. This was a great conversation. I got to get your number and hit you up, and we just got to chop it up because I got a lot more questions. But I really appreciate you for joining the show and giving me some of your time. Make sure y'all go get that memoir. And thank you so much, the GOAT, Chris Rubber, on my show.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, you got to be you. Hey, you got to stay you. If you owe it to the people to stay you. If you don't do that,
Most
then
definitely.
what we going to do?
I got you. That's easy.
That's what's up. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for my big 4, the top 4 things that's on my mind right now. First, we got to talk about them 20 acres I made the big girl purchase, y'all. And I ain't going to sit here and act like when I was making the purchase, I wasn't like, oh my God, watching that money come out of my account. I was sick to my stomach, but I did my big one, man. And I purchased the property in Georgia. And man, it just means a lot to me, especially being a black woman. Like, you got to think, not long ago, we used to be slaves working on these type of, you know what I'm saying? Oh, working on acres. And now we able to own acres. So I think it's important for me to do that, build that financial wealth for my family, for generations to come. I don't think anyone in my family has ever done anything like this. So for me to be the one to do it, the first one to do it, it's just like, it's a beautiful feeling. And it's just like I'm setting myself up for the future, setting my kids up, my kids up. And I'm going to do something special with the land. I got a big vision for it. It's going to be beautiful. I mean, it's 20 acres of land. I was walking down the road and I couldn't even walk the whole 20. It was crazy. But honestly, it's a blessing. Like, I'm only 20 years old and I'm able to own a piece of the earth. When you think about it like that, it's like, wow, like, I own a piece of the earth, like, private property, like, don't come on my property. Like, it's a good feeling, though. Like, it's a blessing. I thank my mama for it, because my mama really the mastermind behind everything. I just kind of just follow her lead. I told her I wanted to, own land and purchase land, but, I kind of just have all kind of ideas, but she actually make sure I followed through and did it in a big way. So thank you to my mama. But yeah, Big 4 owns 20 acres of land. This is not a game. Yeah, I got some visions. First, I want to build a basketball court, like a basketball facility on it. That's the first thing I'm going to build. It's going to be a studio and a basketball facility on it, just for me. And then my goal, what I'm going to do is build a community of affordable houses. So I'm excited to do something for the people, start my entrepreneur journey, and build something affordable, because it's just like, for me, right now, a lot of people just don't have nowhere to live, like, and it's hard out here. And I just want to do something. I just want to do something good with my money. You know what I'm saying? I definitely make a business decision, but also do something that can help people. You know what I'm saying? So that's my goal. It was recently Mental Health Awareness Day, and man, I think it's so important to prioritize your mental health. Me being the person that I am and all the things that I do, mental health is number 1. Because if I'm not good in my mind, and I can't be good and show up for my teammates. I can't show up for my music. I can't show up for my music team. I can't show up for nothing. So I have to make sure that I'm in a good mental health space and I'm doing everything the right way. I mean, it's hard to do that every day, but I think you just do practices that help you, you know what I'm saying, do that. And as a student athlete, it's so demanding. I don't think people understand how hard we go, like, and they think, like, you get a college degree and da-da-da, but like, dog, it's hard work, and it's 7 days a week. Forget what they talking about. It's 7 days a week. So, it's just about pushing through and being mentally strong. But I prioritize my mental health by just habits in my daily routine. If I got a good daily routine, my mental gonna be okay. If I journal every day, if I pray every day, if I work out every day, like, my mental is gonna be okay. And I also take self-care days. On Sundays, I usually just do things for me. I go get my nails done, I get my hair done, I do my lashes, I just get cute. And that's something that just helps me and just help me feel like, yes, I got something done. I feel like I'm on track. Or I go shopping. Retail therapy is a thing. But those are things that I like to do. I think it's super, super important for you to prioritize your mental health and know that mental health is real. And, you know, yeah, it's a big deal though, because if my mental ain't straight, then I feel like I can't nothing going right in my mind. And also, if you need help, go get help. If you need to talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. That's not nothing that should be like, you know, frowned upon, or that don't make you weak, that don't make you crazy. Like, go talk to somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? So I think mental health is important. I think you need to take care of it as much as you take care of your physical health. So, yeah. I surround myself with my family. I talk to my mentor a lot. My uncle Taz, I talk to him for a long time, especially when I need to talk. But like my family, my mom, my dad, my whole team, they really just people that I could go to when I'm feeling some type of way about something, or, you know, if I'm having a bad day. My cousin, talk to her all the time. So, yeah, just got to keep my people close. Oh, yeah, guided by greatness. I like that. Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, I've been blessed to be around a lot of people who are just willing to help me. A lot of people that people don't know, like Simona Gus is, you know, has been helping me, you know, get my game going to the next level. But also, you know, Coach Moki has also been there too. Coach Bob. These are all people who are like legends in their fields. But it's also people in the music industry, like, you know, like Wyclef and people kind of took me under their wing. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wyclef took me under his wing, and now we're in consideration for a Grammy for the song that we did, Paper Right. So it's like things that, you know, it's things that you can't buy, and relationships that you can't buy that help you in this time. And I'm always just looking for guidance, especially for people who have good intentions for me. I gotta thank my people, Jermaine Jackson. He always a phone call away if I ever need anything, any advice. Musa, shout out Musa. He's always there for me, giving me advice. I'm always talking to him about anything in music. Greg Parker is always somebody that I can call. So, you know, just having those people in my circle that are there for me. Laura, shout out Laura. I can call any of those people and they just give me great advice. There's so many people that I got in my corner that are greats in their field, and they helping me, and they really want me to be big. And like, you need that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know, like, if you hang around four lazy people, you're gonna be the fifth one. If you hang around four go-getters, you're gonna be a go-getter. So, you know, I just try to keep my circle around people who really about it. And lastly, my mom. My mom is probably the most iconic person to walk this earth. She really is. And she give me a lot of guidance and, you know, a lot of confidence at that. You know, she one of those people that just keep me confident and let me know that I could do anything that I put my mind to. So I think just being guided by those people, it helped me so much, because it helped me keep my head on straight. I feel like the position I'm in, it's so easy for me to get lost in the sauce. It's so easy for me to think that, you know, or not be humble or think that I'm this and I'm that. But just having real, genuine people around you, it just help you get to your goal, but in the best way possible. R&B 4 activated. I think it's gonna be 8 songs on the project. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be well put together. It's gonna be a real movie. Like, this time around, like my rollout, everything is gonna have a meaning. Like, everything is gonna have a story behind it. And I'm just so excited for y'all to see this. It's not gonna be super grown and sexy, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be a little grown. But it's like a new me, you know what I'm saying? I'm pivoting. I'm getting older, and I got more to talk about, going through heartbreak and relationships, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm excited about this new journey. Y'all gonna love it, bro. But I've been in my bag. Like, when I tell y'all I've been in my bag, y'all gonna be like, dang, do she rap for real? Like, yeah, because I'm like that. R&B 4 is getting dangerous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm getting y'all ready. When y'all Valentine's Day come, y'all gonna have some good content. I'm telling y'all that. Well, thank y'all for watching. That's another episode of Best of Both Worlds with Flau'jae, powered by Overtime. You already know we got episodes dropping every Thursday on YouTube. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and follow. It really, really helps us on the show. Thank you to the legendary Hall of Famer, Chris Rubber, for joining us and having a good conversation. Make sure y'all get that memoir when it drops. I'll see y'all next time on Best of Both Worlds with Flau'jae, powered by Overtime.